pleasure, but in fact, in origin, it's been the mountain of Buddhist ascetic training. That means when the Buddhism came into this country, it merged with the local, Shinto belief, and very quickly one direction was, one direction of faith was very prominent among those who seek the enlightenment, and that was, these people were called mountain monks. They would leave everything secular of the world behind. They would be dressed in white, and they would go into the steepest mountains and only live there from collecting berries and things like that. And they would climb the mountains, walk mountains through the night and things like that. So they would really, do hardest physical as well as mental training. And there are many mountains which were the holy places for these people, and Hakone was one of them. These mountains were their training fields. And much later, this tradition still lives to a smaller extent, but it's still alive. Much later, now in Edo period, that means in the 1600 onwards, the shogun was located in Tokyo, Edo, and he had an excellent idea. How do I manage people? Well, look behind right there. We will see some of these old paths of Tokaido. But this shogun had an excellent idea. How do I keep the other vassals down, that they don't stand up against me? He said, okay, one possibility is let them spend a lot of money. So he decided that every feudal lord somewhere in Japan, had to have two houses, one at home and one in Tokyo. And their wife and the children will be kept in Tokyo, to say as hostage. And he was supposed to spend every second year or so in Tokyo, so that he had to sustain two houses with all the servants and people working there, and he had to travel every second year with the entire crew of his administration back and forth. That way, they had to spend a lot of money, and they were not allowed to build a new castle or things like that. So for this, the shogun government laid several, so to say, the highways of the time. And Tokaido was one of the major highways. Tokaido goes from Tokyo to Kyoto, and part of its path passed over Hakone Mountains. So they were also forced to climb up these mountains, have them checked, and then climb down the mountains. There was a checkpoint, we will see later on. Some of this old Tokaido path is maintained and still available for walkers. You might come across some people hiking Tokaido. They were partly paved with stones, partly just soil. And you would take, as I heard, that you would take from the bottom of the mountain here to the top of Hakone Mountain, half day, have your check, and then have lunch, and then climb down. So it was a one-day course. That means they started with the sun, I guess, and was happy to find their next in before it got all dark. So this winding road is laid, so to say, alongside this old path. So here and there you see, you cross this old path. Oh, you see now in front of us the view of the Suruga Bay. You see how close actually these mountains are to the sea. That's the Pacific Ocean. Now turning on our left hand side. Right there. That's the Suruga Bay. That's Pacific. Right? Like that. And this closeness to the ocean also explains why Mount Fuji is often covered with clouds. It is quite a lot of moisture that comes up from the sea and covers the mountains here. So it is a microclimate quite difficult to predict. Did you maybe notice the road signs here and there with the animals?
Yes.
Warning, yeah, there are. What did you see? Monkeys?
Yeah, the monkeys.
Yeah. I've never seen one here wild, but there are obviously monkeys. We have deer in this country everywhere. And wild boar.
Do they have a hunting season or they don't do that?
Well, we have hunters, and especially now with deer and bear, they've started, coming down to villages because their habitat is threatened. And then you do that. But hunting season, actually, I'm not aware of that.
That would be.
Oh.
He looks tired.
That's exciting. So we'll soon be there. What we do is you can leave everything in the bus. The bus will park right next to the master's workshop. And we go in and first listen to him on showing, he will show us his mastery. That will take about 20 minutes. And then you have time to look the product. Look at the product. But if you're not interested in shopping, you can just walk this way up about 100 yards, and I will show you later if you're interested. And then you can see, you can walk a tiny bit of the ancient road, the path. That might be more interesting if you're not a shopper. So I will show you then when we are done with the master's demonstration. Okay? So